You're probably wondering where I am and what I'm doing up here. I know I am. Apparently, behind me is the town of Burton-on-Trent, and there's a lot of it below me as well, because I've climbed to the top of this 33,000-foot water tower to cop a bottle of this special Burton water. This is used in the brewing of a very special drink. Come with me.
We all went out for a good time last night, which probably explains why I don't feel quite right. We met in the pub at 8:15. At 8:45 we were all in a state. That's why my head is spinning today. My little dog's tail is wagging away. It's been stuck for 10 years, so I think I should say we went out for a good time last night. We went out for a good time last night. Hit it in! As we were leaving the pub, Bill chucked up outside, causing a passing pedestrian to slide. It was all different colours, all different shapes, as though he'd been drinking squash, carrots and grapes. It looked like something Picasso had drawn, apart from the fact it was still rather warm. We all ran away when he gave one last yawn. We went out for a good time last night. We went out for a good time last night. Okay then. Bill outside the pub on his knees, swayed down the street to find a Chinese. We decided to head to the best one we knew. We reached its location at 2:15. We've been shut for an hour, the Chinaman said, so we entered his shop through the window instead. The Barclaycard sign is still stuck to my head. We went out for a good time last night. We went out for a good time last night. On your own. That's why my head is spinning today. Who woke up beside me, I can't really say. The last 24 hours is a series of blurs. I just hope that my breath is more decent than hers. Ring a bell? There's no way that she should be laying by me, and nor should her brother who's making the tea. There are times when I wish I weren't an MP. We went out for a good time last night. We went out for a good time last night. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello there. Hello everyone at home. And if you haven't already guessed, judging by the water tower in Burton-on-Trent and that song, you've probably sussed already, we're actually in a brewery. Now, the other reason we came here was because my boss at ITV said you couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery. So what I've decided to do is come here and prove him wrong. And judging by the audience tonight, I think I've already done that. And the other... See what I mean? Now... The other thing about this delightful setting, as you can see, we're in this massive tent, and I love camping. Now, well, most people in this profession do, as you probably know if you read the papers. I'm actually one of the 4 straight people in show business. There aren't many of us, just the 4, just me, and the other 3 are the bloody Beverley sisters, but still there you go. And what we've done is we put this big tent up along the back of this wall. Now, I've done many things against the back of a wall in my time, but never on television. But I do love a drink, which is one of the reasons I opted for coming to Burton-on-Trent. The only drink I've never touched is cider. And I'll tell you for why. I think cider is the only drink that smells and tastes the same going down as it does coming up. It does, doesn't it? It's horrible. It always reminds me of, like, fat Somerset farmers who are out on their heads. Does it you? Mind you, I'd have to be very drunk to play with a cow's tits at 4 o'clock in the morning myself. Anyway, I've got a proclamation to make, because after this show, I'm going to give up drinking. Sorry, that's the way it is. It's not because I want to, because I do enjoy it, but the fact is, I have become, and you probably won't believe this, a born-again Christian. Now, the reason... Do you mind? The reason I got born again was because I missed breastfeeding the first time. And so I'm having another go. It's all right, I'm quite enjoying it now. I didn't actually miss it the first time. I just didn't enjoy it because my mum was a chronic asthmatic and all my food used to taste of Vic. Do you know, I never got a cold till I was 34. That was the only good thing. Anyway, I go to church now. I go every week. I go on Wednesdays because it ain't so crowded and you don't miss the football. And I've been catching up on the good book. I ain't got far, just a bit about the bloke with the boat and the two animals. Can't remember his name now, but I've done that. And it's very strange, having told you about Christianity and the fact that here I am doing a music show. The two subjects I really hated at school, and I'm sure it must have been the same for some of you. RI, religious instruction. Did you hate that? Yeah! Definitely bunk off time, that one, wasn't it? And I hated music as well. I don't mean sort of music lessons where you learn to play an instrument, because I never did that. I mean when the fat one on the piano, you know, with the sausage fingers, always got the whole class to be a choir. Horrible or what? And you had to sing fa-dee-doo-ah-dee-doo-ah-dee. All those horrible folk songs, do you remember? Do you remember this one? Hum along if you know this one. Hum. That's from an album I've just done of beautiful lilting... of lilting ballads and love songs. It's called How Can I Tell You I Love You When I'm Only Just Breathing Down Here. Did you do this one at school? See, you did, didn't you? Now, I think we all agree that's one of the worst songs ever written, yeah? It's really boring, you have to sing it in school when you should have been playing football. Well, what we're going to do tonight is actually do that very song, because it's a great one to sing along to. What I'm going to do is teach you how to do it properly. One of the things about audiences I find is sometimes they can be a bit of a letdown, because I'm up here, I've rehearsed for days, I get the impression some of you, not yourselves, but other shows, you just walk in, you haven't rehearsed all day, you know, you haven't to take the day off work, practice your scales and so on. And it can at times be a bit of a letdown. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you tonight how to sing properly. The ladies in the audience are going to sing the melody, and the lads I'm going to teach to sing the harmony, OK? So ladies first, you'll be the melody to this bit, OK? You just la-la-la, the chorus to English Country Garden. It goes like this. 2, 3, 4, la-la-la-la-la. Isn't that lovely? It's quite moving, quite erotic, really. Well, it is for me, anyway. Anyway, now the lads' turn. I'm not really bothered about doing this, but I better. You're going to sing the harmony. Now, there's two ways you can sing harmonies. You can either cheat or do it properly. If you cheat, you listen to the person next to you and move the note around till the person stops looking at you. That's called jazz. Or you do it for real. Now, to do it for real, and the reason we've chosen this song is it's nice and simple, because the lads' harmony to what the ladies just sang is one note. La 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 la. Can you manage that, boys? Hello? Can you manage that one? Yeah. Okay, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la. La 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 la. Yeah, that's it. Right. Otherwise we'll be on breakfast television by the time you finish. Okay, now put them together. Ladies, a bit harder this time. Times I've heard that in my life. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la. Harmonies. Here's a little song everyone can sing along, 'cause everybody knows it. We all live our days in so many different ways, and I think that this song shows it. Now that you've all la-la-la, you know it isn't very hard. Now let's make it harder. Only la-la-la if you've ever owned a car that's a Skoda or a Lada. Silence all over Britain. How embarrassing for those who had to sing, and the liars that didn't are twitching. Now let's have a look who can or cannot cook, and see who's useless in the kitchen. Now's the time to reveal your partner who can't cook a meal. Point them out to the others. Okay, girls, this is for you. Now, La, instead, if your partner when in bed likes to fart beneath the covers. Don't worry, lads, I won't let you down. Hey, we'll get them back. We'll get them back, I promise. There's a woman who lives in the village where I live. She's very famous. She's the second oldest woman in Britain. She's 107 years old. And because of that age, she's quite a local celebrity. She opens jumble sales and fetes, and she takes her time, mind, but she's a bit damp. But she gets round there in the end. And, do you know, she's got the only address book where all the names have been scratched out. Isn't that a horrible thought? And she does the lottery every week, and I don't really know why. I don't see the point at 107, you know what I mean? And I wondered how she picked. She probably picks her numbers from the dates her friends were buried, because if you're the second oldest person in Britain, you must have lost everyone, mustn't you? Anyway, I said to her, you know, if you won the lottery, what would you do? You say you won £1 million, what would you do at your age? She said, I'd live off the interest. So, well, I think that's cheating. She's only got to get 3 numbers up, hasn't she? Anyway, lads, this is our verse. We'll get our revenge. There's a lady lives near me and she does the lottery and she thinks that she'll win it one day. That's what I'm told, though she's very, very old. She's 107 on Sunday. Now let's pretend she did get the winner with a quid, beat the 20 million barrier. Okay, lads, get ready. All the fellas here, la la loud and clear. If despite her age you'd marry her, la la. Good. I wouldn't go to bed with her, but I'll definitely go to church. I'll get half of that, will you? Speaking of the lottery, there's an idea I've got for this year to up my profile and do more main-time television, because as you know, with this show, you know, it goes out late. I'm very popular with insomniacs, burglars, people who hang around dark alleys, people like yourselves, otherwise you wouldn't know who I am. And so next year, and latter part of this year, I'm actually going to do Highway, Songs of Praise, and programmes like that, you know, because I think it's good for me to do. Now, as you can tell, my material ain't right for that, so I've had to write one special, and this is it. It's called The Lottery Song, while we're on the subject of the lottery, and I thought I could go on with old Sir Cliff, maybe, because he's into all that Songs of Praise lark, isn't he? And we could do a little duet together. So, as he's not here tonight, I thought you could play the part of Cliff, and I'll be me. Right, so your bit is just the last line. It changes a little bit each verse, but you'll get the gist as we go through. I've won the lottery, I'm a millionaire. I've won the lottery, I've won a fair old share. I haven't been to work this week, which hasn't pleased my boss. I've won the lottery, so I couldn't, no, I couldn't. I've won the lottery, I couldn't give a... Good. Imagine Cliff doing that, can't you? I've won the lottery, my dreams have all come true. I've won the lottery, there's so much I can do. I'll have to give up working to see the world a bit. I've won the lottery, so I couldn't, no, I couldn't. I've won the lottery, so I couldn't give... Whoa, I've won the lottery, I'm a millionaire. I've won the lottery, I've won a fair old share. I'll have to give up working, I'm no longer working class. I'd like to tell my boss he can shove it, he can shove it. I've won the lottery, he can shove it up his I've won the lottery. Now I'm stinking rich, I can call my boss a bastard and his wife a stuck-up bitch. He'll probably sack me on the spot with a little bit of luck. What do you reckon then? I've won the lottery, so I couldn't, no, I couldn't. I've won the lottery, so I couldn't give la 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 la. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm off the weekend to stop. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Very heavy sack of crushed malt. And what I'm going to do with this is bung it in a thing called a grist case, which is a huge hopper. There you go. Comes from barley, this. See that programme with Judith Chalmers from there the other day? Now what's happening is the malt runs through here, hot water comes through here, and it'll all start mashing together. It'll come in like a porridge. Lovely smell, actually. It's like Ovaltine. Right, time now for the runoff. Our stuff, which is now called wort, W-O-R-T, is now dripping into this coffer here, and this is where I add these hops. So having boiled the wort, we now have to cool it down. Watch this. So before I get the Shire horses ready for delivery, the final ingredients, the yeast. Good stuff. And here's some I made earlier. It's going well, isn't it? Right, welcome back, and it's time to introduce you to a real good pal of mine. And in my book, which I colour in every night before I go to bed, this man's the governor of singer-songwriting. Would you welcome from Ireland, Mr. Paul Brady?
This African called Hannibal, rocket, roll it, send it down the avenue, went out to see the Roman Empire fall. 2,000 elephants and gold chain mail, take it, shake it, make it what you wanna be. Them Roman legionnaires, they hit the trail. The world is what you make it. The world is what you make it, baby. The world is what you make it. When Cleopatra lived in Egypt's land, jumped down, turn around, look at what the monkey did. She went to find herself a mighty man. And come Antonio from Italy, haul it, ball it, drag it up the pyramid. He never knew how hard a girl could be. The world is what you make it. The world is what you make it, baby. The world is what you make it. Sing it. La 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 la. Oh oh. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh. Whoa whoa. La 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 la. Don't start to hit me with your no can do. Bluesing, losing, working up an attitude. Clean up them windows, let the sun shine through. There ain't no happy time without no pain. Heartbreak, new date, move on up the alleyway. Pick up them pieces, hit the road again. The world is what you make it. The world is what you make it, baby. The world is what you make it. What you make it.
ladies and gentlemen, not every show, all the way through, can be full of humour, and I'd just like to just for a few seconds, calm you down to do a nice, serious poem. Would you like that? Nice. Here we go then. This is called The Ballad of Michael Thickhead. By George Bernard Shaw, I'm drunk. There are many people who enjoy a nice tipple. It all started on the end of their mother's left nipple. But this is a story of one Michael Thickhead, who turned out to be a bit of a dickhead. For Michael worked as a lumberjack. That's what he needed his brain for. For every day he climbed to the top of a tree where he clipped off some twigs with his chainsaw. But each time he indulged in his favourite toddy, he inadvertently cut off a part of his body. I don't think that's the slightest bit funny, madam. He had 2 strapping legs and 2 arms that were strong, but sadly, he didn't have them for long. It all started one lunchtime when Michael got pissed. He tried to chop off the branch of a tree, but he missed. His lug hole, like Van Gogh's, was the first thing to go, then both his eyebrows, and then his big toe. Although parts of Michael became disconnected, the tree stood untouched, quite unaffected. As trees all around it started to fall, the tree that housed Michael was still standing tall. For each time the lumberjack gave a quick fidget, he accidentally lost 1 more digit. For those who use chainsaws must not drink large doses, or they'll have no fingers for picking their noses. Michael was such a person in question. His finger loss led to nasal congestion. You're starting to get on my tits, to be honest. So sadly one day, he sneezed, I'm afraid, and his nose went a little too close to the blade. Michael's hooter was terribly sore, and what made matters worse, it had dropped to the floor. So Michael Thickhead, in terrible pain, decided to drown his sorrows again. He reached into his pocket to pay for the keg, but the pocket had gone. So had his leg. It has to be said, quite literally, that Michael was not the man he used to be. That afternoon, he tried scratching his bum. Though he'd no fingers to speak of and only 1 thumb. No matter how hard he tried, the bum couldn't be scratched due to the absence of what he'd detached. So Michael's love of raising a glass had become the proverbial pain in the ass. There's no need to patronise me, I'm going to finish, you know. Back up the tree, he did something more silly. He placed the saw much too close. Because Michael Thickhead was drunk as a newt, it fell to the floor. And then it took root. They say such things come in various sizes. This one became huge and won endless first prizes. I got a 4th once. And so to the moral. Don't overdo boozing, or it may not be just your licence you're losing. Thank you. Okay, it's time now to introduce you to my favourite new comedian. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Vine.
Thank you. Good evening. I used to be a Siamese twin, but my brother died. That's that one. So I was walking down the street, and this woman stopped me. She said, "Excuse me, have you just washed your face with imperial leather soap?" I said, "Yeah, can you smell it?" She said, no, you've got a little label on your forehead. You see, you can't get a job as an airline pilot if your name is Jack, because you walk into the cockpit, the co-pilot says, hi, Jack, and everyone starts screaming. You also can't get a job as an airline pilot if your name is Ivor Hand Grenade. And I spent the whole of today at the filming of a Sugar Puffs advert, and it's always fascinated me, who is the actor who plays Honey Monster? So during filming, I ran forwards, got Honey Monster in a headlock, ripped his mask off, and it was Bungle from Rainbow. So I went to have a little garden centre. I said, I want to buy a garden. He said, don't sell gardens, so we sell things that are in gardens. I said, all right, I have a path. She said, would you like anything else? I said, a little hyacinth. She said, would you like anything else? I said, crocus. She said, you know when you're in love, you get that tingly feeling all over your body. Well, that's led to me having 2 disastrous relationships with an electric fence and a cattle prod. And the first time I went out with my girlfriend, we were like this. Then we started going steady. I remember once we had a candlelit dinner, so everything was undercooked. You see, my dog is not very intelligent. He only understands 2 words, sit and profitability. And it took me ages to teach him to sit. For a long time, he was running a small business standing up. And he always misinterprets things that I say to him. I say, heal. And he goes down to the local hospital and does what he can. And I got home, he was sitting on the sofa. I said, get down. He started dancing. Now, there's a woman I work with. She went abroad and caught malaria, and she got 3 months off work. And none of us like her very much anyway, so we've been ringing her up. And she picks up the phone and goes, hello, Linda speaking. And we go... So I was at home today, I was leaning over the saucepan, stirring the food with my head. And my dad walked in, he said, you'll never get married if you act like that. I said, I know, I'll always be a spatula. I said, I was in a cross-country run today. He said, what position did you finish in? I said... I said, can you copy a cassette for me? He said, sure. So I went to have a local hat shop. I said, I want to buy a hat for the winter. He said, Bobble. I said, I want to buy a hat for the winter. I said, I also want to buy a jumper. He said, roll neck. I said, give me that jumper. So I went to have a local fairground. I said, have you got a Big Dipper? He said, stop that. I said, coconut shy. He said, put it like this. They don't go out much. And I had to go on one of those stools where you shoot a duck over and you get a prize. And I noticed, if you aim the gun at the bloke who runs the stool, you get all the prizes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to sing a song now, but I need your help. Yes, when I go like this, I want you to go deep. Let's just try that now. That's very good. Well, the good news is I brought my pianist, Graham, with me. A little round of applause for Graham. Thank you. Graham, can you put the tape on, please? I already know the one dance. Deep, very deep, very deep, very deep. The ocean is deep, much deeper than you think. Deep, very deep, very deep, very deep. The ocean is deep, much deeper than you think. Ask a mackerel and he say, ask a blue whale and he say, ask a dolphin and he say, ask all the shrimps and they'll all repeat. It's deep, very deep, very deep, very deep. The ocean is deep, much deeper than you think. Very deep, very deep, very deep. The ocean is much deeper than you think. Ask a walrus and he say, no. Ask a starfish and he say, ask a great white and he say, ask all the prawns and they'll all repeat. It's very deep, very deep, very. The ocean is much than you think. Deep, very deep, very deep, very. The ocean is deep, deeper than you think. Thank you.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Team Vine. We'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
I rise, leave for work in the darkness, and I come home from the factory in the same. I go to bed, I feel so tired, so exhausted. Then I get up and I do it all again. Each step I take is one more on the treadmill, round and round like blades at the windmill. The factory gates are closing now, the fun dies, and I never see the colours of the sunrise. I wipe the sleep out of my eyes with weary fingers, and I wipe the steamed up windows with the same. Deep inside I hear my heart softly crying, how I wish it was Friday once again. Each step I take is one more on the treadmill, round and round like blades of the windmill. The factory gates are closing now, the fun dies, and I never see the colours of the sunrise. My eyes see only two familiar faces, and my mind knows only two familiar ways. My legs take me around familiar places, and my life passes in familiar days. But I'm told to thank my lucky stars I'm living, to thank my lucky stars that I'm alive. The world I see is frosty and forbidding, how I wish that Friday would arise. I rise, leave for work in the darkness, and I come home from the factory in the same. I go to bed, I feel so tired and so exhausted. Then I get up and I do it all again. And each step I take is one more on the treadmill, round and round like blades of the windmill. The factory gates are closing now, the fun dies, and I never see the colours of the sunrise. The factory gates are closing now, the fun dies, and I never see the colours of the sunrise.
Thank you very much. I'd like to tell you about my first ever girlfriend. She was called Angela. And, oh no, you haven't seen her, don't do that. And I got really excited when I heard that somebody in my class told me that she thought I was a sex object, and I got so excited I can't tell you, because as you can see, these days I'm not a sex object, am I? You can't know how you're born, and this is me. I mean, some of you don't look so bloody clever as it happens, so no, don't turn around, you know what I'm talking about. But Angela, she reckoned that I was a sex object. What she meant was I looked a dick. And it was whilst going out with Angela during that period of my life, through the formative years, that certain countries meant something to me that don't mean so much anymore. For example, China. If you're as old as me, you remember that China was a country that was going to invade. There was millions of them and so on. Once again, going back many years, there was the Cuba crisis with Kennedy. There was Russia versus America, possibility of a third world war. There's all that race thing going on in them days with South Africa and Rhodesia and all that. It didn't occur to me until just a few months ago that all those countries where there was grief in those days ended in A. Isn't that interesting? Wherever there was grief in the world, ended in A. I thought that one up. It's good, isn't it? Angela ended in A. She was grief. How many of you had to go to school dinners, yes? Look, I know I'm in the brewery in Burton-on-Trent, but let's just try and see if we're all the same as we were raised. School dinners. Is there anyone here who used to find a shiny spoon and lick it so no one else nicked it? Oh, I see. It was just me, was it? Oh, fine. Did you used to find a fork that wasn't like that? So that when you ate a fish finger, it didn't go wallop. Now, you'll remember this one. India, right? Ended in A. That was the country at the time that was very hungry. And you remember your parents saying, eat your greens up. There are millions of starving children in India would love that food. You remember that? I see. Name me 3 and they can have it. I had this horrible vision of all these poor little devils down on the banks of the Ganges. Must have been awful, having nothing to eat except Brussels sprouts, cabbage, greens, cauliflower. And no wonder Gandhi wore a nappy. Here's a little... Oh. I'll show you the letters when I get them. Right. Here's a little song. I'll teach the course as we go through. Olive oil was down on her knees, saying, "Oh, Popeye, won't you help me, please?" Popeye, being incredibly thin, did incredible things when he opened a tin. One day he was tied to a railway track. Sadly, the tin he'd forgotten to pack. Things didn't go according to plan, so it's goodbye Popeye the Sailor Man. We all know as one what he should have done. He should have eaten his greens. He would have come out on top, not been a flop. He should have eaten his greens. He should have done what his mum said when he was approaching his teens. When he was young, you know what he should have done. He should have eaten his greens. That's going to be your bit. Do you reckon you can manage that? Right. I'll do the R bits. You just sing, he should have eaten his greens. It's 3 times round. Here we go. We all know as one what he should have done. You'll go. He should have eaten his greens. He would have come out on top, not been a flop. He should have eaten his greens. He should have done what his mum said when he was approaching his teens. When he was young, you know what he should have done. Adolf Hitler had a terrible plan to be the world's most powerful man. This Austrian midget of 5'4" started and starred in the Second World War. There's another country, you know, just to stop Austria. Now, it seems at the outset a quite inoffensive country, Austria. Double grief, starts in A, ends in A. Double grief. They have made 2 great contributions to the world in my book. The first one, Adolf Hitler. Secondly, yodeling. I don't know which is worse. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I will tell you anyway, that I am Britain's top yodeler. And I have won medals, tankards, engraved boxes of chocolates, flowers. I've won all that by being Britain's top yodeler. Do you want to hear some? Yes, what? Right, sort some manners out, just so I don't live here. Right. Now, it's not brilliant. Please don't build your hopes up, but I am the best we've got in the country, OK? So here we go. I do Swiss yodeling, which is even harder because the mountains are high, so the notes go up a bit. So you'll be very impressed with this. No, don't clap. I can't play in time. I went across to Switzerland where all the yodelers be to try to learn the yodel with my yodel. Oh, day! I climbed the big pine mountain on a clear and sunny day and met a yodeling girl up there in a little Swiss chalet. She taught me to yodel, yodel all day, yodel all day, yodel all day. She taught me to shut up, yodel all day, yodel all day, yodel all day, yodel all day. think? Not hard, you know. As you're about to find out. You didn't think you'd get away with that one, did you? Here we go. Well, now I'm gonna teach you how to yodel, just like me. It's easy when you're singing to go, yeah, 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 yeah. First you take a deep breath, and it's KO 1, 2, 3, and then you'll hear the yodel if you listen close to me. All together in. This is how you yodel. This is how you yodel. Yodel, oh day, oh Lord, day. Hard bit. Yodel, yeah, 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 yeah. Are you taking the piss out of me or what? That's horrible. Adolf Hitler had a terrible plan to be the world's most powerful man. This Austrian midget of 5'4" started and starred in the Second World War. He wanted to form a superior race, but in the war he only got second place. It would appear that something went terribly wrong. Exactly what it is in the words of this song. Here we go. We all know as one what he should have done. He would have come out on top, not been a flop. Should have eaten his greens. Should have done what his mum said when he was approaching his teens. When he was young, you know what he should have done. Should have eaten his greens. Prince Charles in his formative years didn't grow much apart from his ears. He learned to talk to the plants and flowers for hours and hours and hours and hours. He's a funny looking geezer, isn't he? Prince Charles, I've met him twice. I'm not being flash, I just have, because he's got a charity called the Prince's Trust, and we go and do it every so often in case we get an OBE. And some oaks. And the thing that struck me when I met him, because we do it for nothing, you know, and he's loaded. Anyway, that's not your problem. The thing that struck me was how small he is. I don't know if you've ever seen him in real life, but he's ever so small, you know. He's only about that, because I'm quite tall, I'm 6'2". That's about him on me. It's not a lot for our future king, is it? Well, I've got to put the lug holes on, but... it's not a lot. You feel a bit ripped off, don't you? Now, I'm a little bit concerned about the marriage going belly up, you know. I know it's nothing to do with us. And it might have been her fault, might have been his fault, might have been both of them, you know, and so be it. But Panorama ends in A, you know. It's not actually her I'm worried about. It's his new one. Are you, yeah. Now, listen, I don't know you, but if you were my friends and we was down in the pub, just across the way there, right now, we'd have to tell the truth. She's a bit uggo, isn't she? Now, you may say that's sexist and what, I don't mean it to be, but, and you'd also say it's nothing to do with us. Well, it's got a lot to do with us, because if they get married and she becomes the next queen, we've got to lick her because she's getting on stamps. I don't want to, I want the... Anyway, never mind, right, so... If we become pen friends, right, you pay for your own stamp, I ain't sending you one. Prince Charles in his formative years didn't grow much apart from his ears. He learned to talk to the plants and flowers for hours and hours and hours and hours. My marriage is shaky, it's on the rocks. He told a collection of hollyhocks. It makes you think when he becomes king, will the queen be a daffodil the following spring? Here we go. We all know as one what he should have done, right? Should have eaten his greens. He would have come out on top, not been a flop. Should have eaten his greens. Should have done what his mum said when he was approaching his teens. But when he was young, you know what he should have done. Should have eaten his, should have eaten his, he should have eaten his greens. And that's your lot. Thank you very much. Well, here we are. We've almost come to the end of the show in Burton-on-Trent. I'd like to thank all the locals for making us so welcome. And we thought to finish the show, we'd get some local musicians on with us as well. So from various brewery bands and various musicians from all around Burton-on-Trent, I'm going to be rejoined by Paul Brady to do one of Paul's really beautiful songs, I Will Be There, with your own local musicians. So here we go. I Will Be There. Give them a nice round of applause as they come on.
when times are hard and friends are few, and you need someone to help you through. Just call my name and I'll come running to your side. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid, 'cause I will be there
When you are lost, lost in the night, nowhere to turn.
I will be there.
Don't be afraid, don't be afraid.
When morning comes and nothing's changed, and the world outside plays the same old game, just call on me and I will ease your lonely heart. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid, 'cause I will be there
When you are lost, lost in the night, nowhere to turn.
I will be there.
Don't be
Afraid, don't be afraid, I will be there.
When everyone that you believe still lets you down,
I will be there. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid, I will be there. 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 Another shade, and the world outside plays the same old game. When everyone else lets you down, we'll be there. When morning comes and times are hard and friends are few, and you need someone to help you through.